come on in. And yes, I know I am late. But y'all, I have been so busy. I'm trying to get ready for a big family reunion this July 4th at my house. So I got a lot of stuff I'm doing after my 9 to 5. And I am just getting around and watching a Married at First Sight reunion part 2. This is for Married at First Sight reunion part 2. And yeah, I'm still here. But y'all know what? I think I am. Do we got any more episodes? Do we have any episodes? Because we up here watching the breakups of these couples, which is kind of irritating. I feel like I need to break up with Married at First Sight. Because when does the next season start? Because when you have a bad breakup, you're supposed to have some time to heal. I need some healing time before the next season starts. We already see at the end of this episode, we saw the previews for next week. Looks like they're going to have an interracial couple, y'all. Did you see the white man putting the ring on the black woman's hand? I saw it. I'm trying to remember. Is this a first? Is this a first of a white man and a black woman? I know we've had a black man and a white woman, or a black man and a different race. Have we had a white man with a black woman? I'm interested. I don't know. Let me know. Somebody drop down in the comments. Let me know if I'm forgetting a couple, an interracial couple of a black woman and a non-black man. Let's just say non-black. And let's just say Vincent and Brianna. That was, I guess, considered interracial. So no, give me a white man and a black woman. Has that happened? But yeah, I need time to heal, y'all. I need time to heal. And what they do when your ex keeps calling you and you don't want to talk to them and you block them. I'm telling you, if there's any more episodes for Married at First Sight, I might have to block Married at First Sight. But thinking about who's tired of people on Married at First Sight is going to be Kirsten's mama. Kirsten's mama is so done with her child. Boy, oh boy. Every mama know that look. Here it is right here. You know that look when you give your child, when you go, girl, stop lying. Stop lying. I love Kirsten's mama. I liked Kirsten's mama when she came on to that dinner and they made her eat that food on her lap. And the mama was trying to pretend like she couldn't find the apartment because she really didn't want to come. Her mama barely wanted to come to the wedding. She would act like she was in the room asleep. They had to ring her and go get her. But mama looked good. Mama looked good on this reunion part 2. She really looked good. And she got on there and basically, without telling her daughter she was wrong, she told her daughter she was wrong. She told her so many good things. And you could tell her mama has told her daughter this before. She told her mama, y'all had too many expectations. She told her daughter that was bullshit that Kirsten was saying about everybody's schedules were so messed up they couldn't meet. The mama said, well, it was miscommunication. Okay, when somebody says it was miscommunication, what they're saying to you is, you lying, but I don't want to call you a liar, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to call it miscommunication. That's what it means. When that mama said there seemed to be some miscommunication. First of all, she wasn't talking about miscommunication from Shaq because they weren't even talking to each other. She wasn't talking about her miscommunication. She was talking about her daughter's miscommunication, and what she was really trying to say when she went like this. She was really trying to say, girl, my daughter's lying and she didn't really try. That's what she was really trying to say. She said she absolutely understood why Shaq was upset about not meeting the family. That mama was saying everything within facial expressions, even though it wasn't coming out her mouth that way. And she done with her daughter. She's so fed up with her daughter. She is so fed up with her daughter. And I will be too, because Kirsten's plan was a dumb ass plan. Y'all, let's really think about Kirsten's plan. This was Kirsten's plan. And I told you guys from the very beginning that when Kirsten was turning away Shaq in those first couple of weeks, it was not about not liking Shaq. It was about trying to make Shaq work harder for her. It was about her fear. It was about her wanting comfort. It was about her wanting everything safe and secure for Kirsten, and Kirsten doesn't have to take any type of risk at all. So now we find out that Kirsten's whole plan, think about this, think about how dumbass this is. She comes on a TV show, Married at First Sight, and she says, I don't want anyone to know that I got married because we might get divorced at the end. And I don't want to be introducing this man to friends and family, and then we don't end up being together in the end. So you thought you was gonna play Hidden Figures? You was gonna make Shaq the Hidden Figures? You were gonna be like, guess what? Guess who's coming to dinner? You was hiding your whole husband in the whole city of Nashville, hiding him. Wouldn't let him come out. Couldn't meet no family. Couldn't meet no friends. Nothing. Didn't want to go out on the town. Nothing. And your game plan was, I'm going to keep him Hidden Figures in the closet. And then at the end, he's going to say yes to me. I'm going to keep him hidden in the closet. Didn't want to introduce him to no family. Barely wanted to kiss him. Barely wanted to sleep with him. And in the end, he was going to say yes to you. This was her whole game plan. Now, I know a lot of people down in the comments been calling Kirsten dumb. I'm going to tell you what. I didn't want to call her dumb, but I'm going to say what? This was a dumbass plan. This was the dumbest plan in Married at First Sight history. To reject your husband, tell him he's ugly, tell him you're not attracted to him, don't introduce him to none of your friends, don't introduce him to none of your family, don't want to kiss him, don't want to sleep with him, and in the end, expect him to say yes. This is some crazy ass shit, y'all. Shaq is done with Kirsten. The only reason he sat up here on this show right now and said maybe we could take a look at it, but if it leads to marriage, okay. If it doesn't lead to okay, I'll be fine with that too. Let me tell you, I don't want no man who is fine being without me. You better want me, and you better want me so bad you can't breathe. Absolutely not. Shaq didn't want to reject her for a second time. She already got rejected with the no at decision day. Now here she is coming here again on a reunion, talking about it would be great if you really wanted me. And then you got Pastor Cal and Dr. P and Dr. Pepper saying, oh, why don't y'all just get together? Why don't you just say it? Well, where was y'all doing the show? We saw more of Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pia here on this reunion than we saw them all season. Y'all late to the party. Y'all are late to the party. Y'all on a color people's time. It's too late for this. You should have showed up with this advice back during the regular season, and maybe Kirsten wouldn't have been doing that lousy ass plan she came in. Maybe you could have got her off that plan soon enough that she could have turned this around. But Shaq is done with Kirsten. You know what Shaq is really done with Kirsten over? He said it when they had that little get together at that little lakeside when they came, and Kirsten walked away, and he said, there goes Kirsten, non-nurturing Kirsten. And let me tell you, that is in Kirsten's bones. She didn't even want to cry on screen. She's so embarrassed to cry. She's so embarrassed to show her emotions. She's so embarrassed to be vulnerable. She's so scared to be vulnerable. Shaq doesn't want a woman who's scared to be vulnerable, because you know what? He's comfortable with showing his vulnerability. So much so y'all was calling him sweet all season. He doesn't want a woman who doesn't know how to cry. He doesn't want a woman who's fearful of crying. He wants a woman who's going to show tears, show emotion, and be vulnerable. So her need more weeks with Shaq? She ain't going to be able to live up to what he wants. Shaq is picky. Shaq is absolutely picky. I do agree with that. But I'm quite sure one of the things that he wants is he wants a woman that is actually so nurturing that not only does she's available to cry, she's available to nurture him. Kirsten is so fearful, so wrapped up into herself, she's constantly asking you to nurture her feelings. You see, she's actually so needy, she doesn't have anything left to even nurture Shaq's feelings because she needs all the nurturing. All this fear she got, she needs a man that's going to coddle her, right? Tiptoe around her, do everything for her. She's not going to go out on a limb and coddle Shaq's feelings. This is why they can't make it out in the real world, because they both can't give each other what they really need. Shaq was not willing to cater to Kirsten's emotions, even in this moment when the experts were trying to tell him to, because he also needs the nurturing. This is the problem. They're actually very, very much alike. But unfortunately, in this area, this difference in this area where they both need a lot of nurturing and a lot of coddling and a lot of around, because they both need it so much, they don't have enough for the other partner. In all the other areas, I can see where they are compatible. They have so many things in common. But in this fundamental area of nurturing, They're not able to deliver for each other. You see it. You see them here not being able to cater to each other's feelings and emotions because they're so busy about getting their own emotions and their own emotions met. It's really, really sad to watch, but that is why they are not going to be a good couple on the world, because there is nothing about Kirsten that is going to satisfy Shaq in that area. Not at all. And he knows it. Sure, they may have a good time out on the scene. They probably could go out, probably could go dance, and probably have a good time. But in those moments when Shaq wants to be nurtured, in those moments when Kirsten wants to be cared for and taken care of and all this other kind of stuff, Shaq's not going to be able to deliver. And Kirsten isn't going to be able to deliver for him either. That's where they're going to struggle. And I don't know, are they still actually going out? Did y'all notice that both of them still had tan lines on their ring finger? I noticed it. I thought this reunion part 2 was filmed quite a ways after decision day. And I'm wondering, why do they still have tan lines on their fingers? Were they still wearing their rings when this was filmed? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I thought it was odd. I thought by now they would have had the rings off and the tan lines would be gone, or they still wearing the rings. I could be wrong on that. I think I might be wrong on the timing. But Shaq said, I didn't think that I was good enough for Kirsten. Yeah, he believes that. He does believe that because she was always criticizing him in the beginning. But that's not the only thing. And when hearing him saying he doesn't think that he's good enough for Kirsten, what he's also saying is Kirsten didn't seem to be doing the things he wanted enough for her to really want him to want her. I think he's also saying that I didn't see her working in the areas I wanted her to work in order for me to feel comfortable. She's walking here talking about I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was doing your lunch. We never saw Kirsten cook nothing. The whole season, we didn't see Kirsten cook one meal. Not one meal. We saw her heating up food. We saw her transferring takeout food from styrofoam and takeout things to plates. We saw her ordering pizza. I never saw a Kirsten cook one doggone meal. I don't believe it. And they kept pressing Shaq. Do you regret it? Do you regret it? He said, yeah, I regret it. No, he didn't. He lied. Let me clean that up. He didn't regret it to the point that he's willing to go back on it. Because when you really regret something, you regret it and say, I regretted that. I want to rewind the clock. I want to do it all over. Kirsten, yes, I do want to stay married to you. That's what you do when you regret something. You don't regret something and say, well, I'll think about it. We'll see how it goes. That is not regret. He only said that to not embarrass her furthermore and reject her one more time in public on national TV. That's the only reason he said it. I know that mama said, who knows, maybe they'll get back together. Maybe they'll work. She probably down there taking little trips to Texas where he's moved for his job. The only way you're going to get back with Shaq, Kirsten, is to pack your bags. Are you ready, Kirsten, to pack your bags and move to Texas and or move anywhere else he goes for his career? Because if you're not prepared to do that, there will not be any getting back together. The same friends you weren't willing to introduce him to, if you are not willing to leave those friends, to leave your mama, to leave your daddy, to leave your brother and sister, then you won't be getting back together. That alone with not learning how to be nurturing, you will not be getting back together. You might have a friend down in Houston you could do a little trip to and go for a weekender, a weekend getaway. He may come back to Tennessee for a weekend getaway. But Shaq ain't gonna take you full time. I don't believe it. Unless she turns a new leaf and becomes more nurturing. Unless she turns a new leaf and becomes more nurturing and makes her life more about Shaq than she did on the show, there will not be no getting back together. But then Shaq talking about, yeah, I'm gonna try. We can get together. Let's go to dinner tonight. She was lighting up like a Christmas tree, saying all, now you want to go out with me. Now you want to be seen in public with me. Why you want to be seen in public now? You didn't want to do it when we was married. But she was saying, I need to know if you were here. I really do. Kirsten said, I need to know if you are for real, if this is genuine, because I don't want to be played with. I don't want to play with my heart. And there you go. There's Kirsten again, laying down the law, laying down what she wants. She wants zero risk. She wants none of that. None of it. She don't want no risk. She wants everything to do to make her feel soft, cozy, and she blames everybody else for it. She wants her place to be soft and cozy, no risk, Don't step out on no limb, nothing. And everybody needs to make her feel safe and secure. She's going to have a hard time in love and marriage because marriage is a risk. Love is a risk. Everybody should know that by now. When you fall in love with someone, when you fall in love, decide to fall in love, whatever someone wants to say it's a choice or it's not a choice, it's a risk. Divorce is 50-50. It's a risk. It's a risk you could get your heart broken. So if you're not a person who likes to take risks, you ain't going to probably fall in love because love is a risk. It's a risk. You're putting your heart in another person's hands, which means there's a strong possibility that even if they don't break your heart every single day of your life, they are going to break your heart sometimes. Shoot, your own kids break your heart. Friends break your heart. What makes you think a husband ain't going to break your heart? This stuff is unrealistic that people have about marriage. It's so unrealistic. Just like that mama said, wrong expectations. And I'm going to add one to the list. Unrealistic. Good luck to them. Good luck to him. Shaq's mama told Kirsten, you still my daughter-in-law. I thought that was sweet. I thought that was really, really sweet. But I tell you this, Kirsten, if you watching Auntie Deborah, if it doesn't work out with Shaq, if it doesn't, you need to drop this dumbass plan you got going. I think it was dumb on this show. And I think it's the same plan you use out in the real world of dating. You need to drop it. Don't do this no more. Ever again. Don't do this thing where you push men away to make them work harder so that they do more things to make you feel safe and secure. And then when you start feeling a little bit better, then you decide you want to summons them again to come on back. You want to reject them in the beginning because you're so scared and insecure. And then as you start to feel more comfortable, you go, okay, now I'm ready. Come on back and think that these people want to come back to you. No, people moving on. People are moving on. So I don't know what you got to do, Kirsten, out there in the world. I don't know what you have to do. Go to therapy, do something. But this thing you got going is a dumb ass plan. I'm going to call it DAP, D-A-P, dumb ass plan. Now we're going to move on to the next DAP, which is Dom and McKinley. Oh, good Lord. I know last week y'all was dropping down my comments talking about Dom's dress. Yeah, it was horrible. I didn't want to talk about it last week. But I saw it. I did see it too. And I thought to myself, who picked out that dress? Who picked out that dress that she had on at this reunion? Who picked out that wedding dress? And who signed her up on this show? And I keep saying it, the mama. That mama is controlling Dom like no other. I don't know why. Now we know why she's an old soul. Because she listens to this older woman, which is her mama, way too much. So much so that she didn't even want to leave this woman. She was so afraid to get with Mac. Because she got the very first instinct that Mac may not want to stay in Tennessee. I agree too. I knew that from the very beginning. But what that made her do was check out of the whole marriage because she was too afraid of the idea that she might fall in love with a man and then she'd have to move away from that mother. That same mother who signed her up for this show. That same mother who picked out that wedding dress that was falling off of her. The same mother that picked out this ugly ass green gown that she had on TV with that old 1970 prom makeup she had on. What is going on, Dom? What is going on? She talked about they were so comfortable in the beginning, her and Mac. And as soon as that mother of Mac said something about what if Mac wants to return to Michigan, she ran for the hills. That, she said, was her turning point when all of a sudden she started to realize he may not really be here. So she went from being enthusiastic to now, let me start looking for signs, more signs, and pick this man apart. Pick this man apart. Because she really only had two options. Even though I agree with her that there were a lot of signs about Mac that said he may not be in Nashville for good. I knew that. And I do believe he was a liar for that. He says, oh, okay, let's go with it. Let's say he fell in love with her. Let's say they were the happy couple and they fell in love with her. Would Mac have said, well, because I'm in love with you, if you don't come to Michigan, I'm going to leave you? I don't believe he would have. Because now that we look at Mac don't stand up for himself. Mac does not stand up for himself. In fact, if they have fallen in love, as hardcore as Dom is, if Dom would have put her foot down and said, we're not leaving Tennessee, Mac would have stayed in Tennessee. because Mac is a wanderer and Mac blows with the wind. He goes wherever the wind takes him. You saw on here, poor Gina thought she was getting a compliment from Mac when he dropped down in her DMs and left her a flame. But come to find out, Mac said the reason why I was really in your DMs giving you a flame was because I saw a woman that was a friend of yours, and I thought your woman friend was good looking. So here, Gina thought Mac was really coming after her. And the truth of the matter, Mac said on TV, I really thought her friend was good looking. But we don't get to that. I don't want to jump too ahead on Gina, because y'all know I got some heat and smoke for Gina. Gina is a mess. But let me keep on talking about this Mac and Dom situation. So Dom over here talking about she was so afraid that Mac might leave in Nashville, and she over here running up after Gil, who lives in Houston, Texas. Girl, how do you look? How do you look talking about I didn't want to fall in love and do anything with a man who didn't want to stay in Nashville, but here I am over here texting, DMing Gil, who's all the way down in Houston, Texas. Girl, you look foolish. Foolish. And when Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal and Dr. Pierre were over here trying to tell her about herself, next thing you know, she crying. She up here crying on screen talking about, I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel all these emotions. Another woman. Women, y'all better learn how to soften up and show some vulnerability. Don't no man want to be with another man. Don't no man want to be with women who don't even know how to cry. They don't want to be the bitch in the relationship. Men don't want to be the soft one in the relationship. And if you can't cry, guess what? He gonna feel like he never can cry. That ain't no safe space. And Dom over here talking about, well, I thought Mac wanted out. Mac didn't want out. Mac wanted all the screen time he could get. There was no way Mac wanted to end this journey fast. This man was trying to get back on this screen so many times during the season because he was kicked off because you divorced him. He did not want to leave that marriage. I don't believe it one bit. Mac loved being on camera. He loved being on the show. He may have never fallen in love with her, but he would have never ended the marriage. He would have never quit. Mac wanted to be on the show. Absolutely. He moved all the way from California to Nashville to be on this doggone show. And you think he wanted to get off the show and quit the show and divorce you after only 10 days? Girl, please. Everybody knows that's a lie. Everybody knows that's not true. And then she came up with some toxic shit talking about, well, if he really wanted to be with me, then he shouldn't have let me run off like that. What? What the hell? This sounds like this other show I watched, Rated Love, where the woman talking about, I need a man that can handle me. I need a man that can put me in my place. This is such toxic behavior. This is when you got deficiencies of yourself. When you know you talk nasty to people, when you know you talk mean to people, when you know you talk down, and instead of correcting yourself, what you tell other people is, you ought to be tough enough to handle me. And it's not a deficiency in me. It's a deficiency in you. If you know you stubborn, then fix it. Stop requiring other people to stand up to you and fight through all your stubbornness. Why don't you fix your stubbornness before you start telling me what extra stuff I have to do and what I got to take from you in order to be with you? No, fix yourself first. She talking about she wanted Mac to tell her, pack your stuff, you moving in, you ain't moving out. Girl, you wouldn't listen to Mac. What are you talking about? You would not have listened to Mac. Because I know somebody told you don't wear that dress to this episode, this reunion. I know someone told you, get a dress that fits you. Get a dress that's not always a falling off your shoulder. You didn't listen to them. You didn't listen to the experts when the experts told you to stay married. You didn't listen to the experts when they told you to give it a try. So now all of a sudden you acting like if Mac would have told you, pack your shit, you stay, and you would have listened to him. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Dom is mean. Let's be honest. She's actually a mean person. She's a mean person. When they were sitting at that little dinner, that little clip calling him petty, you so petty, you so petty. She was bullying him. She pokes and she pokes and she pokes and she pokes. And whatever kind of love she likes where the person pokes her back, that shit is toxic. That's toxic when someone keeps poking at you because they want a reaction from you. And what she's poking on because she told him, because he told her family to unfollow her, I would have done the same thing. He was like, well, you divorced me. Why should my family follow you after you divorced me? And you calling me petty? Girl, she's the queen of the flip. She is the queen of the flip. Instead of blaming herself for walking out of the marriage on 10 days, she tells Mac that he's petty and his family's petty for unfollowing her. You unfollow the whole marriage. Talking about unfollowing someone on IG. You unfollowed a whole marriage and you worrying about somebody following you on IG. Girl, get out of here. And then she talking about she got a little boo-boo thing. She goes, oh yeah, I'm still dating. I got a little boo-boo, but we're not exclusive yet. Then he ain't your boo. How is a man your boo when you're not exclusive? That means he's some other people's boo too. She's ridiculous. I got a boo. And then she goes, but we're not exclusive yet. Then you're not his boo. You a booty call. You're not a boo. You are a booty call. And then they play this little clip where she kissed Clint talking about, well, you know, I'm a type of person that if I lose a bet, I'm going to pay my debt. No, you don't. You actually don't pay your debts. Actually, you don't pay your debts because you agreed to be married at first sight. You agreed to stay. You agreed to be married to a stranger for 8 weeks, and you defaulted on the debt. You walked out on the debt. You dined and you dashed. You got married and you dashed. You dined and dashed. You did not pay your debt. Dom does not even know who she is. Every person she describes isn't her. She describes another person and it's not her. She needs to look in the mirror. She needs to figure out who she is, just like she needs to figure out her doggone dress size. She needs to figure out her dress size. She needs to figure out her bra size. She needs to figure out a lot of things about herself because she don't know her dress size. She don't know her bra size. She don't know fashion and she don't know herself. Figure it out before you get married again because we don't want you showing up to no more weddings looking dressed like the way you was dressed on Married at First Sight this season. And we don't want you being married to no other man talking about you pay your debts and all this other kind of stuff. No, you don't. No, you don't. And not one bit. And like I said, I don't even think they really would have made a good couple because I'm telling you, Mac is a snake. Mac is a snake. If y'all didn't catch that bit, like I said, where he told Gina to her face that I sent you a flame in your IG because you had a friend I also thought was a good looking. And basically he wanted to meet her too. Basically, you know, they was trying to clean up for him. So, oh, you was trying to make Gina jealous. He wasn't trying to make Gina jealous. Gina is so thirsty. Let me tell you about Gina is in the making to be a side chick. I know the making of a side chick. I know the making of a side chick. And Gina has the making of the side chick. And the reason why I say that is because Gina is so thirsty for men to find her attractive and to want her. That's really why she didn't get along with Clint. Because basically Clint didn't gas her up enough. And she says it over and over again. I want to be chased. I want to be gassed up. Even when it's not true, Gina needs so much gassing up. And let me tell you why she has the making of a side chick. Because what Gina was doing with Mac was she was so thirsty for the drink of water that Mac was trying to give to her, giving her a flame on her IG. She immediately started engaging him. She immediately started engaging a married man. I don't care if he's in the middle of divorce. I don't care if he's separated. She not only engaged with a married man because he was talking about she looked good, she was still married. And let me tell you what's the problem. If you don't consider it a morality issue when a man sits in front of your husband, another woman's husband, and tells that man, I think your wife is good looking. I don't care what that man is saying about his wife. For another man who is Mac to tell Clint why he is married to Gina and working out their issues that I think your wife is good looking, she's the bomb, that's foul. They talk about is it a breaking of the bro code? It is a morality issue, okay? And then for Gina to like the fact that a man would have that sort of morality issue and still want to go after her, she is playing around making for a side chick. She's the woman that a married man will come to her and tell her how good looking she is, how wonderful she is. That married man will talk bad about the wife and Gina will feel honored. See, this is what I'm talking about. Gina will feel honored that that married man is giving her compliments over his wife. And she will concentrate on her compliment. But what she won't look at is, wow, this is a lack of moral character on the man's part to be chasing after me when he's got a wife. That's Mac. She's so wrapped up in the compliment, feeling good about herself, thirsty for the compliments. She actually overlooks the character flaw in the man. That's the problem. And when Mac was hitting on her and sending her flames, she was so concentrated on the flame coming to her that he's flirting with her. She missed the part when he said, I also thought your friend was hot. So she just got a taste of the same medicine that Mac did to Dom. So here Mac was complimenting Gina, another woman, when he was married to Dom. Then Gina gets a taste of the same medicine because he's over here complimenting her, but then talking about her friend is so hot. So she's setting herself up that who knows? Maybe Mac will take her out, sleep with her, and then next thing you know, he'll be hitting on her girlfriend. She don't see it though. She got the making of a side chick. Clint was trying to keep a good face when they asked him, was Mac, was that a breaking of the bro code? And Clint said, no, I wasn't upset. That was a lie. But he wasn't upset because he wanted Gina. He was upset because it was a breaking of the bro code. You can't tell me that y'all are like brothers and y'all are family, but then go over here and hit after my wife. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something. Any woman hit on my husband if we ever got divorced, we're not sisters. We are not sisters because I'm not into that. So I know Clint did not believe that that was okay. What he just didn't want to do was he doesn't want to cause any tensions with Mac because he wants to get along with everybody. He wants to have a good time. He wants to laugh, and he knows he don't want to be with Gina, so he ain't going to make a big fuss out of it. But he absolutely didn't like it. Not one bit. You could see, if you guys watch, when they asked him the question, his little lip would twitch and quiver every time they asked him, did you think it was wrong? He was biting his tongue. He didn't want to tell the truth. He just wanted to keep the peace. The only person Clint fell in love with was that dog Hank. Hank, that's the real bro. That's the real love of his life. And that little montage they showed at the end, I'm going to tell you, it was so sweet and so kind. Made me cry. It really did make me cry. Even made Gina cry. And I know Hank is crying. Because Hank loved Clint. Let me tell you, when a dog comes and sleeps at the foot of your bed and follows you around and doesn't follow around their so-called master that she's had Hank for who knows how long, Gina ought to be embarrassed. She ought to be embarrassed. And I'm not even going to talk about Eris and Jasmine too much because every time I saw Eris touch Jasmine, I wanted to throw my shoe at the TV. Why is he touching her so much? You barely wanted to look at her during the whole season. And now you guys, I can't even talk about it, y'all. I don't want to say nothing about it. Sorry, that won't be no part of my review. But we see on the scenes coming up for next season that Dr. Pepper, I'm not Dr. Pepper. In fact, I want to call Dr. Pepper Ruth Ginsburg because let me tell you, she need to quit. She need to retire. And let me tell you, it looks like Dr. P is going to play a bigger role next season. Dr. P is going to be helping with the matchmaking. Thank God. I hope she brings something better to this and get some better matches out of this. And hopefully she can be Dr. Pepper's replacement. Dr. Pepper need to retire, girl. You need to retire. But like I said, I need some time to heal. I don't know when next season starts, but this was like a bad breakup for me in a lot of ways. Another couple I ain't talking about is Chris and Nicole. I'm happy they're married. I'm happy they're in love, but I ain't talking about it. I'm not talking about it. I need time to heal. When you go through a breakup, I need time to heal before I get on this next season of Married at First Sight. So I hope we have a decent enough gap that I can heal because I might need to block Married at First Sight. I don't know if there's another episode. Y'all may or may not see me review it because I might need to block them so I can have time to heal so I can get ready for the next man, next season. But that's it, y'all. I will talk to you later. Bye.